Hello and welcome to another edition, a special edition of me playing Twisted Metal. This time around I'll be exploring Twisted Metal Harbor City, or at least the build of what could have been. And before I start off, a special shout out for Unmutual who shared this to YouTube, because if people don't know, for a long time this was not playable, at least this build, because it would only work on a PS2 dev kit, but through the wizardry of technology, somehow they're able to make it work on an emulator by some fancy nonsense. So that's what we'll be doing today, is just going through, exploring as much as I can glean from this game, because there is quite a lot done in this canceled sequel to Twisted Metal Black. And I'll just go down the list. So we'll start with the story, which is your standard tournament mode. Of course, there's challenge and endurance. I don't think I need to do too much there, except for maybe exploring maps and all that. And then the mission mode, which is very interesting because, you know, Twisted Metal's never had a mission mode before. A linear story that you progress through, including on-foot sections, which are pretty insane. But we'll start out with the story mode. Okay, so for the story mode, you have, of course, Axel. A lot of these cars are their versions from Head-On, so they did change quite a bit. But the ones that were in black, they do retain their black appearance. But you have Stock Car, which is 12-pack from Twisted Metal Lost. You have Pit Viper, who makes a return, since their only other entry in the series was Twisted Metal 1, Mr. Grimm, of course, the Preacher, who is just Brimstone, Roadkill, who we all know and love.
Freaking huge.
Old Pickup is brand new, that's never been shown off or appeared in any other game. Of course, Darkside, Sweet Tooth. Thumper was supposed to be in Twisted Metal Black. They had concept art designed for it, however they couldn't come up with a driver to drive it, and so it got cut. And then you have Spectre, who retains their appearance from Twisted Metal Black with the, low blue sports car driven by Bloody Mary, I imagine. Mr. Slam, who ended up coming back for Twisted Metal Head-On, but I guess was supposed to come back here too, which is pretty crazy. Outlaw, who is a car, not the SUV, and back to Axel. So what I think I'll do is I'll do Mr. Grimm because I just genuinely enjoy using him. And you can see, of course, he's using his Twisted Metal Black version, which is the war veteran wearing his best friend's skull as a helmet, and not the spooky, scary skeleton of the previous games. And you'll see here, this is the first time also that you can see the damage output for your weapons. And so that ended up coming into Twisted Metal Head-On, but you can see all the way back in 2003, when they were designing this, that was in the cards. And these maps are exquisitely detailed, like surprisingly so. And, it makes you wonder, what could have been, just because of how much effort and passion could have gone into these levels. Although I don't think personally that the vibe would have been quite as strong as Twisted Metal Black, but I do think that this could have been easily one of the best games in the series, just for its ambition alone. So I think that in 2003, I think the concept of car combat, I think, was on the decline. I think it was becoming more and more overtaken by, oh my god, what just happened? I mean, this is a horribly unfinished game, and so there's bound to be a lot of weird quirks and glitches and stuff that we'll have to navigate as we explore. But I think open world games like Grand Theft Auto, Saints Row, Mafia, I think that the mainstream appeal of car combat, I think, sort of got taken by those games. And so Harbor City, in my opinion, was supposed to be the response to that. Twisted Metal's, sort of taking back that aspect of the game. Because I think that a lot of people, mainstream, the casual audience, I think, wanted from Twisted Metal at the beginning was, I want to drive a car around a big open arena, without you telling me where to go or what to do. An open world, essentially. And back in 1995, 1996, when Twisted Metal 1 and 2 came out, those were the only games you could really scratch that itch. But as, games progress, hey, there's Cousin Eddie right there. That's pretty funny. Once the PS2 came out, you have Grand Theft Auto 3 and Saints Row and all that. I think that the casual audience just moved on to those. But it's cool to see that Harbor City could have been like a response to that. Although I do think that this game still would have been car combat first and open world second. But there is still, I think there could have been a great chance for this to be great. And there's a weird audio glitch going on right now that I don't know what's going on. But so as far as I know, the way the tournament mode works, and it's actually very cool, is that you load into a section of the larger open world, you battle X amount of opponents, and then once you kill that many opponents, then you have to sprint over to the next area in the map, and it's all one seamless world. It's broken up by a highway or a tunnel system. You know, that way, I don't know why this guy's not dying. Slam is a monster. Can you please just go away? Okay, I think I got him. Yeah, when the cars explode, there's not really like a damage model. They just sort of like crawl to a halt and then disappear. So it's sometimes hard to tell when they've been killed. So now it's time to move on to the next area. And so there's a green square on the map that I'm supposed to go to move on to the next area. And it does, I think it does give the illusion. I died. You can't tell, but he died. It does give the illusion of an open world, in my opinion. I think it does a fantastic job of making you believe that this is all one big world, even though it really is the same as every other game, where there's, you know, defined levels, and it's just that instead of a loading screen, you drive to it. And I don't know, I fucking love that. So the billiards hall with a giant cross on the front says, "Billiards, except ye repent. Ye shall all perish. Lord's Lounge." So I do, before I move on to the next area, I do want to explore a little bit of what this map has to offer. The destruction in this game, from what I can tell, and we'll probably see the next area, the downtown area. I mean, it's incredible what they've done, and it's probably why it needs a dev kit to run, just the extra horsepower, I guess. Because boy howdy, it's insane. Like, almost every building can be destroyed and be leveled and become like terrain you can navigate over. Here's the Soul Motel. I think I can drive up that because there's a satellite up there. So I think for most accounts, this game is about 3/4 of the way done before it was shelved. Very slow getting up here. There we go. And it shows. I mean, it's definitely not polished, but I think that a lot of the... Oh, hello. I'm in a gymnasium. Okay. Interesting. I didn't know I can go in here. Because see, like, how many art and assets are done, you know, they're just, you know, some last minute polishing, and, you know, destruction models need to be put in place. But there's cars driving around. I mean, the wheels don't spin, but there are cars driving around. Like, it does, despite being unfinished, it does feel like a living, breathing world, even more so than pretty much every other game in the series. Maybe not Twisted Metal Black, but it's just, man, what could have been. It's so disappointing. I think Axel was the only one left. Oh, here's like a foundry. That's neat. I wish I had more analysis of this. It's just cool. I think this is just fun to explore, even though it's obviously not finished, and there's obviously a lot of work that would need to go into it to make it, you know, done. But it's just so goddamn cool. Splash Cola. I can't read the bottom one. I can't imagine they made like unique advertisements for all these buildings. Like, I wonder if any of this stuff is just pulled from the internet, like just fucking JPEGs. But oh yeah, as you can see, like the building, I can completely destroy the building. You know, I do think it is pretty simplistic how it does it. Like, it's just, you know, it's open and now it's destroyed. You know, it's pretty simple, but it's still neat. It's still more than we've ever seen, as far as like a robust, dynamic way to you know, change the level as you play. And I think that's all we've got here. This map reminds me a little bit of Diesel City, in a way, like just some of the rundown junkyard area here, and then as we go to downtown, it's more of the high-rising building sections. But I think we've done all we can do over here. Checked out the sites, seen all the things. Wonder if we can blow up maybe... Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. It says radioactive, and I can't imagine this is a Magic Dragons reference, so let's try to blow that up. Oh my god. Holy shit, what an explosion. I mean, that's what I love about this game, I think, is that you look at something and say, I wonder if I can do that, and then you can, as it turns out. Let's try to keep it going. Let's try to blow up these smokestacks. Wow, that's incredible. It's just so cool it could have fucking been, man. It sucks that it obviously this will never happen, but just how much work and how much man hours went into this, something so cool, to never have it be shared with anyone. And I'm not sure how it's even possible to get this build working, or like how people got their hands on it, but I'm so grateful that someone put the work in, because it is very cool. And I think it's time to move on to the next area. Let's move on to downtown. I'm going to hope I can get through the entire tournament mode without dying, but we'll see. Discount lithium. Now, lithium is the drug used to treat bipolar disorder, and so I'm sure it's a battery thing, discount lithium, but I think for a world as, I guess, plagued by mental illness, to see discount lithium is kind of a solid joke, even though it might not be intentional. And so now we just traverse the tunnel here, and as you can see, there's basically nothing outside of the tunnel, and then the area loads in. So it really just is a loading screen, but it's, I guess, it's more fluid and it's more fun, in my opinion. And here we are in downtown, where it's a little bit less finished, it seems like. The area outside is untextured and very simplistic. Got the Pariah Club advertisement up there. Share your meats, says the young woman on the billboard. No thanks. And I don't think those street signs say anything, but I don't know if this is supposed to take place in Midtown as it did in Twisted Metal Black. I mean, Harbor City would imply that it's a city named Harbor City. But I don't think we've ever been told or have explained to us what Harbor City is, or why it's here, why it's become the setting. I think some people have speculated that the story of this game would have been like the light world of, Twisted Metal 2, 3, 4, and so on, all the colorful games, was going to merge with the dark world of Twisted Metal Black. Hence why you see Thumper and Mr. Slam and some other characters that only appeared in the other games. And they're using, more or less, their head-on version. I think Thumper's a little bit different, but it's, the same pink lowrider that you see in the other games. And they have their flamethrower special back, which is pretty awesome, which they did not have. Cafe, let's go find some health, because kind of need it bad. I want to get through the tournament mode without dying. So I think these maps, in a fundamental sense, maybe aren't as good of a layout as perhaps Twisted Metal, 2 or Black levels are, because those are dedicated arenas. But I do think as a massive sprawling environment that's exciting to explore, I think that Harbor City would have been the best by far. Yeah, I mean, it is incredible, the amount of detail. We see their Midtown gas. I don't know if that more or less confirms this is Midtown, and the rubble of the discarded buildings is crowding the streets. It's what you love to see. And that was, oh my god, yeah, that building got completely torn down. That's awesome. I love that. Opponents defeated, and then the next area is the city center, which I think houses the carnival, or the circus. There might be a billboard up there for it if we can. There we go, circus, clown circus. I think that's the next area we can traverse to. But I'll end these opponents, and then I'll continue to explore and see what we can glean from this area. There goes Axel, and I think that might have been it. It might have just been Axel. Oh, Roadkill's here. Okay, let's take out Roadkill. See if he's as much of an asshole here as he is in Twisted Metal Black. Although he looks way different in this game. It's a different shade of green, not as much rust. See if I can get a closer look at Roadkill. Yeah, they almost used the same thing that they did in Twisted Metal Black, but they just make slight differences. In Mr. Grimm here, looks like it's almost a one-for-one version of his model. It's just the textures look a little more muddy, more bland, and that might just be the emulator. You can't really rule that out. Hard to say. Drugstore, Phallico, Muff Potter, For the Good. I can't read that shit. Someone else can, let me know, but I can't. I don't know what that's saying, but yeah, this feels like a legitimate city. That even you might see in, Grand Theft Auto. It's that big and sprawling. Maybe not big, but it's that detailed. And this is the first game that feels like the scaling is almost correct. The size of the building versus the size of cars and people. It seems appropriate, almost. And I like the ground is reflective. It has a vibe to it, and I really like it. And that audio glitch is still going on. I think there's a way to reset the audio file so that stops happening. It did. Okay, so that resets the sound, I think. because I think sometimes the sounds just get bugged if they start playing indefinitely. Which is, I think it's the same Pizza Boy from Twisted Metal Black. So they did reuse some assets, but I'm surprised they didn't reuse more. Because I think there was a lot of stuff you can take from Twisted Metal Black and put in here, but it just shows how much effort they put into building a brand new world. San Pedro. Which San Pedro is on Highway Loop in Twisted Metal Black. Like one of the signs, like the exit signs, it says San Pedro. So I'm not really sure if that's like a ongoing joke or if that actually means something. Not sure, but we'll take the tunnel to the city center and loads in. So this area reminds me of what appears in Twisted Metal Lost, the Suburban Terror area. This part reminds me a bit of that. Even though the city center is not, I don't think it's a suburb. I don't think so. It's definitely the carnival though. But it is disappointing that the Carnival of Darkness that shows in Twisted Metal Lost, how much is outside of that carnival that we could have explored. You know, for instance, we have the, this arena here, which we can get inside of and explore. And then there's like that massive Space Needle looking thing. Like there's a lot of stuff that they could have showed off that I guess maybe they didn't feel it was polished enough to show off, or maybe, they didn't want to get people too excited. Can't show them too much or they'll be begging in the streets, rioting, pleading for them to release the director's cut of Harbor City. But yeah, there's like this basketball arena. It says Champs, what year? 2003. It almost looked like 2009. I was trying to maybe get like a gauge for the year that this game was meant to take place in. But I don't think we're going to clean it from that. Because Twisted Metal Black, I think, is supposed to take place in 2001, the same year the game released. Whereas other Twisted Metal games appear in the future. And they all joined me in the arena. Very appropriate. And I love the way the missiles look in this game. That's something I haven't mentioned yet. But like they feel more visceral and more realistic almost than they did. They're not as cartoonish. Like they seem, I guess obviously they are cartoonish, but I don't know. They seem a little bit more exciting. There's more like particle effects and stuff. The way they move is a bit more like powerful feeling. Okay, I would prefer not to die, but these guys are pushing the issue. And the energy attacks are the same as they are in Black, which is good to know. And the skill-based weapons, there seems to be only one, and it's the Zumi missile. And it works a little bit different than it does in Twisted Metal Black. Where there, you press the fire button once, and it launches a stream of Zumis. But in this one, you have to keep hitting the fire button for it to continue shooting. Okay, that's one way to get up here, I guess. Can we blow up the basketball? Let's find out. I don't think so. Got some health, that's good. So I don't know what happens when you complete the tournament mode. I've not gotten that far. But other Twisted Metal games have, like, 7 or 8 levels, sometimes 9. And, then you see the ending, but this one, I don't think they have, 8 distinct areas. Maybe they do. There's, a port, the airport, maybe another suburb area, and a mall. So I guess maybe they do have enough areas to kind of make, distinct places to fill out a whole tournament. But this might look familiar to some people who've played Twisted Metal Lost, because this is the carnival, just expanded upon. There's a lot more things going on. There's a Space Needle that does not appear. I'm trying to get to the more familiar area of this map, because it almost feels like the Carnival of Darkness in Twisted Metal Lost is almost like built from the ground up, just using some of the assets from this. But it is a little disappointing, I think, the way the enemies spawn in. They don't really feel like distinct enemies. They're just copies and pastes of each other. Because when they're separated by a loading screen, I guess it kind of helps you suspend your disbelief that you're fighting the same opponents over and over and over again. But when all it takes is just you driving through a tunnel for a few seconds to see the next batch of enemies, it's just weird that I just blew up Roadkill 5 seconds ago and he's already back. Okay, so this is familiar. So this does not appear in Twisted Metal Lost, so we'll get rid of him. But there's the Jack's Funhouse. And then here's the little carnival tent that in the center would normally be the health pickup, but instead it's just a pillar. And then you can go up here onto the roller coaster, which on the top would be the health bridge, which I don't think appears in this version. So this is where I'm a little bit more familiar with what I'm looking at, but it looks completely different. So much more detail put into this, but obviously less polish as well. So at the top here would normally be the area where the health bridge is, and then right here would be a teleporter to take you back down to the bottom, or carnival rides. So the only reused asset I can find is this clown guy doing a handstand. That is definitely from Twisted Metal Black. Is that even doing a handstand, or is he just like putting his head between his legs? Like, that's definitely his ass. That's interesting. But yeah, that's from Black. Bobo the Clown, I think, is also from Black. Or maybe I'm just thinking of Lost again. It's all running together. There's some like weird art installations here. Pretty fun. So I guess we'll check out this one first. This is a series of tubes stacked on top of each other. Very powerful. And then we have this statue of a donut and a donut hole, I guess, in a slightly smaller, elongated donut. A weird ramp structure, which probably helps him get on top of the building. Nice. It's a metaphor for how art gets you places that you couldn't go otherwise. I wonder if I can go into the tube. Let's see.
Nope.
I think I could. If I really tried, I could probably get in there. Let's go for round 2. Okay, that was a bad idea. You have a lot of weapons, holy shit. Well, you can't destroy the art, so I think this game has a deep, profound reverence for art and its impact on society, and it will not let you hurt it under any circumstances. Gas cans are pretty weak in this game, which is disappointing. In Twisted Metal Black and Head On, they're like among the most powerful weapons in the game. I was hoping that would be the same here. Okay, let's go get some health before I fucking die. So there is a health under the 10s. That is the same as Lost. But as you can see, just, you know, way more destructible objects, way more stuff going on. Just loads of stimulation all over this map. Here's the skull from Lost, which means there's probably that area to get underneath over here too, although I might be stuck down here. This might be the end. Okay, no, I can get out. Good. That was close. That was almost terrifying. Let's go to Port Kogale. Skull Island. Yeah, here we go. Here's the underneath area with that skull dangling. You could probably get up here to get into the skull. Nice. You can shoot its eyeball. Push its eyeball out. What happens to it? It just rolls around. I wonder if it's like a dynamic physics object, if I can like push it around further. I can. That's awesome. Here we go. Twisted Metal Rocket League. Coming this fall. Just use a fucking eyeball instead of a regular soccer ball. I like the sound of the machine guns as well. It just sounds a bit more punchy, a bit more crunchy, if you will. All the sounds in this game for the weapons and stuff do feel a bit more like oomph, which I do like, but it's not as gamified as they are in Twisted Metal Black, where like every weapon has like its own sound that, you know, you could sort of like hear what's coming because of the sound. This game, they just all feel sort of like generic missile, but they do sound pretty punchy. I will say the color palette is still pretty bland, which I guess is to be expected. I wonder if maybe this is the way to go. It's the only tunnel I can find, really. I like that when you're not having his scythe equipped, it just hangs above his head. He doesn't put it away. That's funny. Now we'll head on through this tunnel here. Hopefully there's another area beyond. Welcome to Goth. Okay, so I think Goth is the mall, which might be the most well-known area in Twisted Metal Harbor City as far as this build goes. I think everyone's seen the mall by now. But if not, you know, we'll definitely explore it. I think the inside of the mall is actually pretty boring, but the outside is amazing. And then here's this guy. Oh. Okay, so we'll have to jump a little bit to get up onto the area here. Oh, there's a health bridge finally. That's interesting. Okay. Okay, this would be a good time to use the health bridge. I like when I use my shield. It doesn't actually... That's very fast. Health bridge. When I use my shield, it doesn't actually shield me. It just shields the bike. Which I guess proves that Mr. Grimm is indestructible. But without his bike, he's nothing. Get rid of him. Yeah, I think the outside of the mall is very cool. I like that it's like a gothic, like almost like horror-inspired mall. Like, I wish one existed in real life that looked like this. That'd be pretty fucking badass. But instead, all the malls look the same in America. But the inside is it's very bright and very vivid, I suppose. Very vibrant. But there just isn't a lot going on. The layout's very simple. It's really just a bunch of hallways. You know, but I think that this design for a mall, I think it's always been sort of on the team's mind. Like, they wanted to do something like this, like an indoor mall. You know, because when you think of the idea of destroying the familiar being a core tenet of Twisted Metal, I think a shopping mall is absolutely part of that. It's just that in the PS1 days, I think that the amount of textures and modeling you'd have to do to make the storefronts all look unique, I think that it just wasn't feasible. And so they just couldn't do it. But with Harbor City, I think they absolutely tried. Where obviously there are some repeated storefronts, like not every store is unique, but it's enough of variety to give you the illusion that it's not just, you know, there were a bunch of repeated storefronts. And that Weeping Angel statue just fell. So, I don't know what that means for us. I don't know if that's like an omen for the future, but I sure hope that this game is going to be okay because of it. Let's see if I can finish him off, because I think he's doing the most damage to me right now if I can slam. And enemies like to use their shield, I've noticed, in this game. So AI, maybe not smarter, but they do know how to use their shield. I wonder what's up here. Oh, another raised area. This must be the parking lot. And cars are speeding on out of here. Good idea. All the pedestrians are just doing an A pose. This is what it already was. But, I mean, the outside just looks so cool, man. Like, it looks like a church. And maybe that's some sort of artistic, you know, thing. Oh, we treat consumerism as a religion. Thus, our malls must be a church. Swipe your cards and worship, my brothers. Or something. I don't fucking know, man. There you go. See you later, outlaw. And Slam. Is that the same Slam? No, it's a new Slam. Alright, so we have to go to the next competition. It doesn't tell you, it doesn't say where, but I would hope that it's the airport, because that's one I've not been to yet. And I'm actually pretty excited to go. I think as far as the Goth is concerned, I don't know if there's much more to see. I see more advertisements for the circus, or whatever that is, Boyson. Jeez, the Spectre is insane. Just zipping around. Here we go, she's taken out, and that only leaves the brand new Mr. Slam. Because I think that the pool of enemies doesn't really check for, like, were they in the level already? And so they just plop in another one, even though I just killed him. Checking out some more of the storefronts. 913, End Zone, coming soon. What a shame, it never did. I think there are versions of this level that have pedestrians running around. I don't know how to get that or what it is, but it's not this one. AAA Meets, We Do Weddings. That's from Twisted Metal Black. We see that one on the suburbs map. Which is, I don't know, it's not like the most clever joke ever, but it is pretty funny for like a little, like, you know, sight gag. But yeah, that's the Blackfield Mall, and if I can find out how to get to the next area, then we shall go explore the next competition, as it calls it. Oh, here we go. Some sort of covered tunnel. Oh, nope, it's just more mall. No thanks. I'm not sure what Blackfield is versus Midtown, because they use them both sort of interchangeably. Like, one is the city and one is, like, I don't know, the region, I suppose. I don't fucking know. But there's like Blackfield Asylum, but then Midtown Gas. Unless Blackfield is the city and Midtown is just a section of the city, but they make it seem like Midtown is the actual proper city. Or maybe Blackfield's like a corporation that just owns half the city. I don't know. So I don't know where to go next. This might be the end of the tournament. I don't think, maybe, because it's obviously unfinished, so there's a good chance that it just ends here. So I guess with that, we'll head back to the main menu, and we'll go try out the mission mode. And it starts with the Asylum Escape, which you might be familiar with if you play Twisted Metal Lost, the Sweet Tour mode, because this is basically identical to that. But it starts out with a QuickTime event that's very demanding. Like, you have to hit the L1, R1 buttons very quickly before you fail, which, yeah, gives you a game over, so you falls into the acid. Yeah, it is a extremely demanding quick time event. So I'm clicking as hard as I can, hoping that I can complete this in time. Alright, good. Sweet Tooth, where'd they put my truck? I guess I'd better get my hands on that warden. And so now we have to escape and go find that warden. And Sweet Tooth here, looking chunky as hell. Blood stains all over him. Hair on fire. Ready to go. He can punch. He can jump. He can walk awkwardly. The whole suite. And we can grab weapons off the wall, which is brand new for Twisted Metal. I don't think that appeared in Twisted Metal Lost. I'm pretty certain there was no combat. But there is here. The guards are going to come to try to stop us, but that's okay. We can beat them to death with our club. And there's a lot of pipes in the wall. You can chuck the pipe, which is fun. I don't know what benefit that has, because it really just seems like they fly around. The controls are pretty sharp. You know, I think for their first attempt at making a non-car combat, you know, traversal, I think it's pretty sharp, but the animations are definitely janky as hell. Of course, I can just punch him to death. It's always that. Sweet Tooth's iconic machete, I guess at this point for Twisted Metal Black, it would have been a knife, but that is not present here. But we have a lot of lead pipes, that's for sure. There's also no sound whatsoever. It's just completely silent, which is unnerving. Let's try out the fire axe. And not only can I pick up fire axes, I can pick up a wheelchair and beat him to death with a wheelchair. This game does not give a fuck. And go into the electrical room. So the layout of Blackfield Asylum is basically the same as Twisted Metal Sweet Tour. It just has a bit more detail put into it, such as the weapons and, of course, the guards. Although some of these guards cannot be killed, it seems like. I always have trouble with this guy specifically. It seems like no matter what I do, I just cannot kill him. And so we'll check out this real quick, do a quick lap. That's nice, and then we're gonna leave because he will kill me. I don't know if he just lacks collision or what, but he cannot be killed. And if you die, I think you just restart to the beginning, so I prefer not to. This guy has a gun, so we'll take care of him. And there is a gun that I can pick up, although I haven't had a chance to use it yet, so if I do it here, that'll be my first chance. This guy's having trouble. Just running in place, great. Thanks for making it easy. And the asylum seems to be empty, except for us. Like, all these cells and stuff seem to have no one in them. I'm not sure what that means, if like maybe this is like an abandoned asylum and Sweet Tooth was taken here. Just to house him exclusively. It's hard to say. I think this guy's... okay, that's another invincible fella. Alright, let's go check out the rec room. And as far as I know, also, there's no way to replenish your health. Oh, there's War of the Monsters. Which War of the Monsters came out, I think, in 2003, which would, I guess, confirm that this game took place after that. Downhill Domination as well. So this game took place after those. Or I guess the development was going on after those. You can have some old school potato chip brands, Lay's and Doritos, using their old styles. Some billiards if you're interested. Let's chuck that wheelchair. It's weird that the jump command is still the same as it would be in a vehicle, which is L1, R1 together. Uh-oh. I don't want this guy to kill me. I'm hoping that... oh my god, this guy's freaking the fuck out. If I can use the console commands here to give myself health, because I'm taking a lot of damage here, fellas. Let's see if this is another invincible guy. Okay, no, thank god. Okay, and the warden is in here. Oh god. Come on, thank you. Yeah, I'm taking damage from all these guys. I think there's a way to block, but... looks like he's just eating a sandwich. Which is pretty funny. And also, when he's hurt, he has a different stance, which is to hold his side and sort of breathe heavy. Not having a good time. Poor guy. It'll be over soon. And then this area here, the camera changes perspective to be this like side-scrolling thing, which is pretty neat. Kind of reminds me of God of War. Alright, if I can take this guy out, I like my chances. And so here's the gun on the wall. And I haven't used it yet. But I don't want to accidentally kill the warden quite yet. You're supposed to interrogate him. But I don't want to kill him. Okay, good. I didn't... No, did I lose my gun again? This happened last time. Fuck. Alright, well, warden's chunks now. He's chunks of meat. Damn it, I lost my gun. And I think I'm supposed to interact with this in some way. But all I can do is punch. My only interaction with the world is punching and violence. Let's see if we can look underneath the mask. What's inside the mask? Oh, that's horrifying. There's nothing. Okay, I don't know how to get back into his body. So, back to the asylum escape, which means I have to do the quick time event again. I'm stuck in the wall. Okay, well, I hope there's a way to move my guy around. Oh, this is not good. I'm driving a car now. Okay, we may have to restart. Okay, made it back into the room. Alright, now I can shoot this guy, I guess. Okay, the gun sucks. This is terrible. I just beat him to death. Okay, it's not even a gun. I just beat him to death. Yeah, the gun does not work, it turns out. Well, okay, I think I'm supposed to interrogate this man. And I don't know how. All I can do is beat him until he explodes into meat chunks. But I don't want to do that, because you're supposed to actually talk to him. Okay, I can get on top of his head. That's been established. Let me go. Let me go. He's trapped me here. Oh god, this guy's good. Okay. Alright, that was frightening. Oh, okay, well. Tell me where my truck is. Intimidate the warden to get location of truck. Mash L1R1. Oh my god, another, like, fucking crazy QuickTime event. God, they've made this, like, impossible. Holy shit. Well, because also, like, he keeps jumping, which is not helpful. And I'm back up here again, great. Really trying here. I don't think this QuickTime event's worth it. I don't think it's possible. So I think if you hit all the face buttons together, I need to find a ride. Okay, so I guess the warden's dead and I'm being accosted. I need to find the garage now. Oh, okay, I'm in here now. Okay, that door's open. Interesting. Okay. All right, here we go. Into the next area, I guess. Little control room, and then I think now from here on out there is no more guards that are trying to hurt me. You have Dr. Hatch electroshock therapy, which is a reference to Twisted Metal Black. That's the doctor that worked on Crazy 8 to turn him into No-Face. But yeah, these guys, they just explode into meat chunks. Dr. Zorko, of course, that's a reference to Randy Zorko, prominent member of the development team. And we're in the women's bathroom. Not a place that's really good for... No, this might be the men's. We might be in the right bathroom. Okay, that was men's. Like, okay, good, there's urinals. This one, no urinals. Good attention to detail, but a lot of blood in the walls. What happened here? More meat chunk doctors. They're all cowering in fear. And who knows what would have happened in this room here. This is terrifying. A lot of neat art assets here. More linens, records. I think our objective is just to continue. Well, does this give me health? No? Okay. That would be nice, because I need health bad. Here, I don't think there's anything, like, it's all very interesting. I just don't really have much to say about it. It just is, it's just neat. Receiving, I guess I'll just keep moseying on through here. And here we go, the ambulance. So now there's a guy up there who has the keys, I think, to the, like, if I try to enter the ambulance, I think it says, yeah, damn, no keys. Right. The keys are on his belts. So I want to say the guard up there on the catwalk is the guy that has the keys, and you're supposed to throw things at him. I just don't know what things I can pick up and throw. It seems like there's nothing in this room I can pick up. So I might need to go back in here. Maybe there's more stuff. The guard falls to the garage floor. The keys tumble off his belt. Okay, so I guess if you just leave the room, you win. All because I left the room. Fantastic. And then I think it just repeats that. So now we can try the mission mode 2. I think the connection between the different missions, doesn't work, and so we have to manually go to mission 2. But that was the Asylum escape. Very simple. Really just the Sweet Tour mode for the Asylum part, and then you get the ambulance. Pretty much it. But a lot of cool stuff to see. And now we're in an ambulance, and the whole point of this mission is just to follow the road. Drive in a mostly straight line. I have no weapons. I have turbo, but I don't know if I have unlimited turbo. No, I ran out. So now I'm just driving in a straight line in pure silence. So we take in the sights. As we're being chased by police, and they are very aggressive. These guys are pretty nuts. But there's really no pickups, not much I can do. I can't destroy these guys, I don't think. I could push them around, but I can't destroy them. But yeah, I think this tunnel here, as you approach it, it collapses. And so, yeah, the tunnel ahead just collapsed, and now I cannot go through. So I must turn around and go back to the water tower. And keep in mind, this is all part of Blackfield Asylum. Like, I have not left the grounds yet. And we'll see that as I exit. It'll be like the entrance to Blackfield Asylum. This is all part of the facility. Here's some helicopters collide in the air, spin wildly out of control, and destroy just the right things to help me get out of here. So the water tower collapses, and comes a gate. And the helicopter's still there. Neat. Very cool. Alright, then I get to go through this train tunnel, which will lead us out. It'll spill out into the world beyond. Although I wonder what is over here. And if I fall off, what happens? I'm curious. That just resets you, okay. Interesting. Good to know. And then once we get to the city, the next phase, I think, is to find... I think I'm trying to find somebody, or if I'm trying to find the impound lot to get my truck back, I think. But we stole an ambulance to get out of Blackfield Asylum. And here's the tunnel that collapsed. Here's from the other side. Very dark, very scary. And then here we have the gate to Blackfield Asylum. Like I said, this was all part of the facility. And there we go. Police are still chasing us, but we don't care. Pay no mind to them. They are not our friends. They just want to hurt us. There's a police station, so the giant green arrow is pointing us in the right direction. Although I think, again, the connection between this level and the next one is broken, so once I get there to the impound lot, it has this, like, what would have been a cutscene, psychotic episode. But I mean, that's all there is to see for this level anyway, so we can move on to Mission 3, Impound Lot, which is also very familiar if you knew Sweet Tour. It's the exact same layout. So, find keys first, then find ice cream truck. So now we head into the Impound Lot. And, of course, Sweet Tooth could lift an entire engine block off the ground and use it as a weapon. And, of course, there's dogs here, but I don't know if you can kill them, and I'm not going to find out. Just wail on this guy. Get out of here, nerd. I like that Sweet Tooth, in picking things up, just jams his fist into it. And that's somehow good enough. Yes, I think anyone that's played Sweet Tour, I don't really need to explain a lot of the stuff, because it's the identical layout, with the only addition being, of course, the combat. Which, there's not much to say about that either, because there's barely any of it. You just mash the X button, or the square button, and, of course, you can't die from this trap. just like in Sweet Tour. So in Sweet Tour, they basically combined the impound lot with the asylum, whereas in this, the ambulance chase is, between them. He just jumped on his head. He didn't know what to do. He just stood there. Just dealt with it. He doesn't like confrontation. He just stood there. Of course, more dogs. I don't know what their purpose would have been in the final game, those dogs, if they would have been attacking you. But they don't do anything here. They're just static models. Of course, Sweet Tooth has to shimmy on over. Look at this peak male performance. What an athlete. And then I don't think these can kill me, but just some more, attempts at platforming this game tried. But the controls are just so janky and not satisfying that I think platforming would have been a fucking slog. Especially because the jump button is L1, which, in what world is that a good idea? The the X button doesn't do anything. Like, why not make that the jump button? Unless there's like a tight turn, the Sweet Tooth tight turn. No, he turns like normal. So why isn't A jump? And like the jumping is not immediate. Like there's like a bit of a wind up that he has. So altogether, like the platforming in this game would have been awful if the controls stayed the way they were. And there's really no point in picking up weapons because like the punching seems to do the exact same amount of damage. So you're better off just punching. All right, and then I think here we're supposed to shimmy. Shimmy, shake that booty, my boy. Give us a show, Sweet Tooth. Look at him go. Because I think every part of the platforming in this game is just aggravating. Like how slow he shimmies over. Are you shitting me? Come on. And then punch open the skybox into the garage. And of course there's a guy in here. We'll go down here. A lot of buses at the impound lot. I don't know what kind of city bus line they're running here, but can't be good. And there we go. We got the keys to his coveted ice cream truck. Although they're still on the wall, so I don't know. I guess Sweet Tooth's keys is a flat JPEG of keys. You'll love to see it. Oh no. Oh no. This might be the end for Sweet Tooth. Running on empty here. And there's a spotlight there. I don't know what happens if it spots me. I don't think anything happens. I don't think this guy's paying attention. I think he's just up there pretending to do his job. Oh no. Okay, I think these guys will kill me if I give them the chance. There's 3 of them. Just run to the truck. Run, Sweet Tooth, run. Sweet Tooth and ice cream truck reunited. There you go, more proof that, the truck is not Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth is the guy. The truck is just truck. And using pretty much the same model as from Black, but we get a view of it that we typically don't see. And I don't think there's anything past this section. I think it just will replay that cutscene of him being reunited, and I think we'll move on to the next level. That was Impound Lot. Now we have Downtown Cop Battle. There's City Center Combat, Chase the Mall, and that's it. So now we're doing Mission 4. Which I think some of these levels moving forward, they might not actually have any content to them. I think they might just be placeholders. But we'll go as far as we can before it starts to shit itself. And also shout out to Matt Agus on YouTube, who I think is the one that's explored the most of this and showed it off for people. And I don't think he gets enough credit for it because he does an amazing job of showing off what this could have been. And Sweet Tooth special here kind of sucks ass. Instead of, again, like the zoomy missiles, instead of shooting a volley of them at the single tap of a button, you have to manually, fire each missile. And it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. So I'm not sure if maybe just the way it's programmed right now is like you can't have multiple missiles fire out of a single hit, or what. I do not know. And I think if you switch weapons before he's done like transforming into his mech mode, I feel like it just doesn't work properly. Another building collapsed. Oh no. Yeah, of course the sound is just absolutely busted. Oh, there we go. His special worked that time. Just It's weird how it didn't work the other times. Alright, Zoomy. Do me proud. Like my lives is -1. That's great. And that took him out. There's only one left. He's sprinting away at top speed. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I took the health. Oh, you asshole. I think my machine guns can probably get him. The machine guns overheat very quickly in this game. It also is disappointing that the version of Outlaw in this game is not the SUV version, it's the cop car. There we go. Good job, he's dead. Ghetto, that way. I like how the city just calls it the Ghetto, which always felt like a slang term, and a pretty disparaging one at that. And yet they're like, yeah, that's just the Ghetto. You know, we have a whole section of the city that we just concede. You know, we'll call it the Ghetto. I think that might be it. I think there might not be any other section to this. It's the cop battle, and that's all you get. And then you get to explore the downtown area. Okay, and then now moving on to City Center combat, which I'm guessing is more of the same. Find Harbor City Stadium. So this seems just like the tournament mode, except I guess more centered around Sweet Tooth himself. Because the tournament mode is basically the same, is that you have combat in one area and then you move on to the next area. Although this seems to be just against one opponent. Oh no, there's another one. There's Grim, Spectre, and Pink. Is that another Sweet Tooth, or is that Brimstone? Brimstone, okay. And I wonder what the story here would be, like why these specific opponents are targeting Sweet Tooth. The cops I understand, you know, Outlaw, but these guys, what has Grim got against Sweet Tooth? I think maybe that was a big hurdle to overcome, is like, why any of this? What's the point? You know, like the first section, the first 3 levels really make a lot of sense. You know, as far as, well, really the first 4 levels, I guess. But, you know, you escape the asylum on foot, great. And then you escape in the ambulance. And then you get to the impound lot and you find your truck. Okay, great. After that, I feel like they kind of didn't know what to do with this story mode. There we go. There's Brimstone done. Yeah, the combat's not great in this game by any means, but I do like the way the missiles look. I just, you know, without the sound, it takes a lot of the punch out of the game. Like, there's no, like, engine noise. You know, there's no machine gun noise. There's no anything. There's no tire screeching. When you fire a missile, there's sometimes sounds. You know, like for Sweet Tooth, I can hear the missiles launching and then that sort of clown chuckle. But that's really it. Let's see if I can take him out with a Rico. No, the Bank Shot God is not with us today. Oh, we got the health. Come on, Spectre. There's also no mention of who the drivers are for this game. Like, obviously we see Sweet Tooth driving, you know, his truck. But I guess Mr. Rib technically, because, like, you know, you see him on the bike. But everyone else, there's no confirmation, I guess, that they are the same people from Black. So this might not be Bloody Mary. We don't know. But she needs to get the fuck over here, man. She is making this very difficult. Come on. Freeze missile. Thank you. We got him. We got him, boys. He's down. That was close. Okay, so I think that's it for this level, too. I think once you kill them, there's nothing really left. Like, there's no connection to the next level, so you're just kind of stuck wandering. All right, moving on to the next mission. That was City Center Combat. Now we're doing Chase the Mole. Who is the mole? We might never know. What is going on? Am I inside of Brimstone? Is he driving me around right now? Like he's in my belly. Or I guess my knees, my mech knees. Oh, he launched me. What is going on? Jesus Christ. So Brimstone's the mole, huh? Who would have thought? So are we working for Calypso right now? Is that what it was talking about? Like, this is Calypso's mole? The fuck does that even mean? Like, I know a mole is like someone who's like kind of working undercover, feeding information. And now he's dead. Weird. So were we killing those other people just to draw the mole out? Because Brimstone was already part of that, so we already killed him, so... I want to know what the story idea was. I think that's all the mission was just killing Brimstone. Because, like, they put these together having some idea, right? And the last mission here is Mall, which I haven't done yet. This is new for me. But we do know the mall is connected to that circus area. Nope, we're on foot. Okay, there's no objective. I think it's just to walk around the mall. Okay, just have a nice shopping day. At the food court, you have Razor, American Grill, Popsy Snack Bar, Fink's Pizza and Beer, RDX. And then looks like it repeats. Yeah, all they just do is repeat. Okay. Okay, so we're in the food court. Let's leave. Can I break these tables? I can. Wow, they bleed. Why do they bleed? Why does everything I punch bleed? Unless it's me. Is it my blood? Okay, well... I think this might be it. This might be all we have. We have a pretty upsetting group of banners there. Especially the one on the right that says hanging out at the Blackfield. It looks like a person like literally being hanged, which is pretty brutal. And I fell through the floor. But it gives us a good shot of all the fun storefronts, I guess. But there's literally nothing to do here. It's just walking around. Walking simulator. Decades before Death Stranding. And Sweet Tooth's hair is not on fire, which is disappointing. I wonder if maybe when he killed Brimstone, maybe it broke the curse. Now he's just a regular serial killer clown. I guess the last thing we can do is head into challenge mode. And I'll do so as roadkill. Actually, we'll do old pickup. Some vehicles don't work. Let's see if his does. We haven't seen the dock yet. Harbor 1 and 2. Estate. Some of these don't work. I think Estate might be one of the maps that just does not work. Let's try Harbor 1. Let's see what happens. Because some of these levels just crash the game. Which I think Harbor 1 just did. Okay. Let's try docks. Let's see if we can load into docks. Hey, look at that. And now we're now the stock car. Although docks does look familiar. Oh, we haven't been here yet. Great. Yes, we have like these massive ships. And all this stuff is destructible, but there's no damage model, so they just disappear. Wonder what the water looks like in this game. I don't think there is any water. I think it's just a black void. Going inside the ship here. This looks like Deathport from Twisted Metal Lost. This looks like a version of that, but very detailed. I mean, extremely detailed. Also avoid Axel as we explore. Another ship down there. Let's try to get down to the other ship. Yeah, this map is crazy detailed. Holy shit. My goodness. Little truck there. Can I blow up the truck? No. No siree. At least there's a engine sound for stock car here. That's pretty nice. Yeah, there's not much to see on this battleship. It's just a pretty standard ship. But I don't think going in the water does anything. I guess it just is not water. But it looks like maybe like the water level is supposed to be here. You can see that triangle. Like I think it's supposed to represent where the water level should be. And since this did not appear in the tournament mode, it might be safe to say that this was supposed to just be like a deathmatch area. But the presence of a highway, I guess, would imply that it was connected to the other levels. I wonder if there's a way to, I guess, like, see how all the levels are connected together. Like, if it was just one big open world you could explore. That'd be pretty neat. I don't think that's possible, though. I think the closest thing we have is that story mode. where, you know, you go in one area, kill everything, and then move to the next area. That's pretty much all we have. And let's go explore what's out there. All right, so what is way out here? Looks like just a... Is this like a fully 3D modeled, like, oil rig? Did they really fucking model this whole thing? Like, it's so far away, it's just a silhouette. They could have just made it like a fucking 2D cardboard cutout. There's multiple. Interesting. I mean, there's nothing here. It's like not textured, but like it's just weird that they wasted this many polygons on something that ultimately doesn't matter. Because I'm pretty sure that like all this destruction out here, like this is all 2D, but then they have these oil rigs that, I mean, they're straight up modeled. Interesting. What the fuck? Oh, I think it's part of the destruction outside. Just clipping through it. And I think beyond that's just black void. You have some cities off in the horizon. And I think this is part of the playable area. Yeah, it's part of the ship here. It's a nice aircraft carrier. We have a little city area. I think in the earlier builds of this game, there are pedestrians running around on these streets, but in this version, there is not. But here's a freeway entrance. So I would imagine if we were to follow this street, this would lead to the next area over, which I don't know what it would have been, because these signs are too blurry to read. Yeah, it just ends. Yeah, I think when you're in challenge mode, I think they just load the area as it is. And you can't access the other areas. But yeah, the port, pretty cool, I think. This is a pretty badass arena, if you ask me. And I hope there's more to see over here, but I think that might be it. That might be the extent of this level. And then the road ends here. Yeah, very cool. Very interesting, very cool. Are these turrets? They have fucking turrets? What are they trying to protect? My god. Okay, let's see if there's any other levels we can explore. Ghetto, I don't think we've seen Ghetto yet. Maybe we have. I'm not really sure what these levels are, to be honest with you. Like, okay, we have been to Ghetto. Yeah, this was the first one that we were on in the tournament mode. Seems to be like a suburb slash, you know, industrial area for the city, and I'm pretty certain that it doesn't connect as it does in the story mode. We can definitely try. No reason we can't try. Yeah, they block it off. Okay, that makes sense. Let's see what Darkside looks like in this. Railyard, that's new. Hopefully Railyard loads. Oh wow, look at this. Very cool. Yeah, this one is new for me. I haven't seen this. This seems like an extension of the docks that we were just at, except this is probably more of the industrial side of it versus the commercial side like we saw on the docks that we just played on. And I wonder, this map seems to be almost daytime as well, which is brand new for Twisted Metal Black's universe, to see the sun in daylight. Imagine that. Although is the sun, there's no sun, it's overcast, but it's damn close. It is damn close, my friends. And a tree. Greenery. Oh, this is probably the most hopeful map that this universe has ever seen. I mean, it's still gross and rustic and upsetting, but there's more to it. More to it than bleak, dark, demented evil. American food stores. Yeah, not a whole lot to see, it seems like. I think a lot of these buildings are just static objects. You can't really go inside of them or do much with them. And there seems to be a plus sign way out of bounds. I'm not sure what the plus signs mean. They mean teleporters in some games. Other games they mean health. It's not super consistent what they mean usually, but go inside this warehouse, just empty. Yeah, this might be the most boring layout, I think, for any of the maps. It's pretty flat and, I don't know, undetailed. Let's see what's over here. And then if there's an airport map, I do want to check that out. No, there's a train. A pretty decently modeled train, in my opinion. I mean, PS2, obviously, it's not going to blow you away, but you know, for Twisted Metal's level of detail, I think it's pretty sharp. And over here, just more buildings. I wonder what her special looks like. Yeah, she just charges forward. Nice. It's a quick way to get around town, if you ask me. Okay, well, I think that's pretty much all there is to see on this map, so let's go check out what else there might be. I'm really hoping the airport's part of this game. S Center, I think City Center is the Carnival map, I think, and so there's also Stadium, Suburbs, Freeway. There's a lot of maps here, but I'm pretty sure most of them aren't anything. Oh, here's the airport, fantastic. Oh, you'll love to see it. That big weird plane there, wonderful. Big 747s too. You want to hear another? I mean, for 747, it's actually pretty fucking small, but it's got that iconic like second level bump in the front. At least that's how I distinguish them between other ones. Let's go inside and see what happens. Everything just loaded in. Like such a weird scale in this game. Like Sweet Tooth seems small but also big at the same time. I guess as the inside, the terminal area. Scare Air, Voodoo Flyers. It seems like they had some fun designing these. Faraway Airlines. More Scare Air, Voodoo. Let's see, what do these say? Oh, they have a TV with some news going on. I wonder what things they could be talking about in the Twisted Metal Black universe. Baggage claim, airline, flight time. Can I go down here? What's down here? Oh, hey, look at that. It's like a whole thing. I don't think this is what it actually looks like under baggage claim. Maybe it is. Maybe it's like a very accurate representation, but I have no idea. I have no clue. Okay, that plane destroyed. I think it creates a ramp, doesn't it? Oh, perfect. Oh, and we're on top of the airport. Fantastic. Okay, let's go check out the other ones, because this map is actually pretty small compared to the other ones. And as far as I could tell, it didn't have any connection to the other ones. Let's check out Pit Viper on Shipyard. I don't know what Shipyard is. It is nothing. Great. Okay, let's try Pit Viper on a real map. I don't think Estate is anything. Freeway is one I haven't seen yet, so let's see what Freeway is. Nothing. It's not even a black void. It's just a blank screen. Great. The game crashed. Well, I think that being said, I think that's all there is to really see in the Harbor City build. It was exciting to go through and see what could have been for Twisted Metal Harbor City, the canceled sequel to Twisted Metal Black. A lot of interesting stuff, a lot of stuff that's a bit underwhelming in some cases, but it's always cool to see like stuff that we're really not meant to see. Tantalizingly close to being finished, but also so far away, so unpolished. But it was a lot of fun to dive into, so thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed. Have a nice day.